True Hostel Stories. Old Town Munkenhof, Tallinn. On this episode of True Hostel Stories, I'll be discussing my experience staying at Old Town Munkenhof in Tallinn, Estonia, from May 30th to June 4th. The names of the individuals, if mentioned, have been changed to respect privacy. However, all events described did occur in real life and nothing was added or taken away. These stories are real. On my second night in my stay in Old Town Munkenhof, I met a woman I will name Paulina. I was chilling in the common room researching where to have dinner when Paulina came in. She sat beside me and we started chatting. There were several things I noticed about her right away. Paulina was obese, so much so that while I only took up one spot on the sofa, she took up the rest. She also smelled horrible, like someone who had been jogging in the rain. Not only that, but she had a few long strands of hair on random areas around her mouth. It turned out that someone had stolen her wallet that day while she was on the bus, so she had no money or anything. She also mentioned to me that if I was hungry, there's a delivery service app available that'll deliver food directly to the hostel. In my mind, I knew right away that she was trying to get me to order some food so she could, in her mind, eat for free while I was being generous and sharing my food with her. I was too smart for this and I pretended that I was going to meet a friend for dinner. Aside from that, she and I actually had some interesting connections. While she had never been to Canada before, she knew about Victoria as her godfather lived there. She knew about the geography of the west coast of Canada and knew many of the places I have been to. Paulina was actually quite friendly and shared a bit of her life story with me. She was a single mom. Her daughter was living in Tartu, attending university, but currently on vacation in Helsinki. Paulina's father had passed away and she wasn't close to her mom. Her ex-husband was abusive and spent some time incarcerated and was not a part of her life. Paulina had no friends and she was a cancer survivor. Paulina was on disability as she was unable to work, and the social services of Tallinn was in the process of relocating her to another home nearby, hence her stay in the hostel. Anyhow, she asked me for a favor that I will never forget. She said she was living on one of the dorm rooms on the fourth floor and had accumulated several bags of rubbish. Paulina had mobility issues, naturally, and was checking out of the hostel the next day. She needed those bags of rubbish removed from her dorm and placed in the rubbish bin behind the hostel. I thought that it would only take me a few minutes and it would not be a problem at all. We exchanged numbers as I was on my way out to explore Tallinn further. The next day, Paulina and I met and she led me up to her room. Upon entering, a foul stench surrounded me like a warning to run out of there as fast as I could. There were flies flying around in the air, and I could only imagine what kind of rot would invite flies to a dorm. I continued with my commitment to help her remove the rubbish bags from her dorm. The only thought in my mind was how I will cleanse myself with hand sanitizer and bathe myself with chemical cleanser as soon as possible. Once this task was finished, I walked Paulina to the bus stop as she was returning to her new home elsewhere in the city. After she boarded the bus, I ran back to the hostel and scrubbed myself down until my skin was red and raw. Paulina continued to contact me via WhatsApp several times and even asked me if I would bring her food as she was hungry. Although I did feel some sympathy for her, I knew that I would just be a source of pity for someone I would not have a lasting friendship with. While I do enjoy meeting new people and making friends throughout my travels, I did not want to be in the role of providing emotional, janitorial, and gastronomical support to anyone. I was happy to leave Tallinn a few days later. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe.